Tuning into the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Another week, guys.
Another week.
Get that buzz going, JJ! What's up, guys?
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
We got 3 episodes left.
We've got 3
Crazy.
left. It's going quick.
Where does the time go with this show?
I don't know.
Too much fun.
I know, right? Episode 9, a yurt of one's own. Which we just figured out a yurt is a tent. That's the tents that they're staying in.
Yeah, we did not know what that was.
Nope.
Learn
know what
something
it's
new.
called.
See, Shameless is educational as well.
I kept thinking to myself, oh, it's the sweat lodge or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know, a yurt.
I'm going to hear
Yurt made me
about
think
this.
of a pile of poo. Like, I was like, something I don't know what this is.
Oh, well, thank you guys for joining us again for another fun episode. I'm your host, Hayley Clover, joined by these 2 lovely ladies.
Hello.
Joyce, where can I find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter at JJ Ajouri, so check it out there.
And I'm at JJ Jurgens.
Perfect. I mean, we'll talk more about the yurts later, but I'm just going to preface this by saying I would have to stay in Debbie's yurt.
Yeah.
Or else
yeah.
I'd be out.
I feel like based on what's going on in each of those yurts and the fact that they're like shoveling poop or, you know, with the compote every day, everything must
It's not even just like
and
animal
it's
poop.
hot in there.
It's
and-
human feces.
I'm about staying
Yeah.
with all the old wrinkly guys.
You into that?
Oh, yeah. Sexy. Hot.
No.
Those
no.
old wrinkly balls. Yeah, that'd be so good.
No, thanks.
Okay. Alrighty then. On that note, I want to start with lip first. Yeah, I mean, I just see the downward spiral
Painful.
continuing.
He's going off the deep end.
Yeah. So let's talk about lip. What do you think?
I think like we see him wake up next to, was it Brina?
I don't know if we ever. I don't know if we know the girl.
I don't know
Just
if it was
another
Brina was next to him.
sorority girl.
Yeah, but it's funny because, you know, he was having a really hard time getting intimate or like getting it up, and then, you know, he all of a sudden went to the extreme and like he's having threesomes and he's waking up with girls next to him. So he's going through like really super extremes. And tonight was just like, you know, like you said, downward spiral. He went downhill. He had to get a stomach pump. Like that's the worst, I think, in terms of like alcohol use for him.
Yeah, I hate to watch the alcohol. Like, I had such high hopes for him, and it's painful to watch this. Like,
Well, and how about his reaction to, you know, Bryn actually caring about
Yeah.
him? You know, and it's funny because I've had friends in college think the same way. Like, the ambulance is too expensive. Don't call an ambulance. Where it's like, dude, I'm going to call an ambulance. You're ridiculous.
Yeah.
You're dying. So I didn't like seeing his reaction that way. You know, but obviously he needs alcohol now every single day. We've seen him with a beer
Every
or
waking
finding a mini
moment.
bottle or any kind of, you know, any kind of liquor he can find.
and even after this, you know, he went back home and still had cracked open the beer when he was talking with Ian. So it's like that didn't faze him at all.
I like to think he got the best sleep of his life in that hospital bed. And he probably felt the best he's ever felt waking up with all that hydration and saline going through his veins.
he
and
must
I
have
wouldn't want to screw that up.
I mean, he must have felt amazing because it's like, you know, we've all had those days where you drink, you're like, wake up the next day, you're like, oh, I'm never drinking
Someone
again.
give me
Like,
an
I'm
IV.
not drinking again.
Yeah.
So for him to like just do that, go through all that, and just be like, okay, I'm gonna have another one.
I don't
It's
know though.
cool.
He looked like shit.
Right? Yeah.
His face is just darker. The bags around his eyes are there. You know, I actually in college took a girl to the hospital that I didn't even know. She was passed out, like foaming at the mouth on our college porch. And thank God we did, because she was just like so beyond. But I don't remember her coming out of the hospital being like, yay, yay! Like you know, like a new spring chicken.
Yeah.
It was
And it's
more
not
like you know, she just had her stomach pumped.
Yeah, and it's not like Lip has a parent to get mad at him. You know, like if that happened to me, if I were in Lip's position, like
you'd be out
my
of
parents
school.
would be happy that I'm okay, but they'd also be fucking pissed.
Right.
Like, what the hell are you thinking, getting yourself into something like that? So
Right.
I think he's like lacking perspective in terms of like how she helped him, and even though he wasn't giving her what she wanted, like a relationship and everything, like she still wanted to help him, but he didn't see it that way. So I didn't like how he reacted either. He's going through some shit though, and this is how he's coping, like his professor is saying.
Well, and I don't think Ian has noticed yet.
No.
You know, he said a couple things like, "Oh, hair of the dog," you know, thinking he's hungover or whatever, just needed a little pick me up, but hasn't noticed yet that there's a real problem.
Right.
Do you think he's going to be the one that's like, "Yo, dude, what the hell is going on?"
I hope so.
I think so. I think he's gonna somehow get either really, really terrible, and Ian's gonna be the one to find him, because I think we saw the great moments tonight with them like talking in the kitchen and celebrating over Carl. You know, so I definitely think they've kind of had this kind of awkward, you know, they've struggled with their relationship over the season, you know, where they fit back into each other's lives again. So I think he is going to be the one to maybe help him out when it gets bad.
And I think like
No, it's okay. I was just gonna say I think those two somehow always seem to complement each other in that way.
Special, yeah. I also feel like if anyone's been through hell and back, it's Ian. So, you know, if someone's gonna like give me advice or like try to talk to me and try to get through to me, I'd want it to be Ian.
Okay, but how about Ian's judgment tonight when he's in the hotel room with Mandy? Mandy is back, everybody. You know, and in true Shameless fashion, let's just help out with a possible murder.
Yeah.
It was like, why are you moving that body?
We were all shaking our heads at that one, because I thought the same thing. I'm like, no, you're studying, you know, EMT, things are like lining up. Like, now don't go and screw this up with this idiotic plan. Like, and first of all, like touching the body when he was there, and then like touching everything.
Either.
Yeah, it's like, this is not going to be good. So I'm really, really glad that things turned around on that one, because I didn't want to see where it was headed
now,
for a while.
I hope.
I don't see that storyline going anywhere else. It was more for like Mandy to kind of maybe get her shit together. But yeah, that was a moment where I was like, oh God, he's going to lose it all right now.
Yeah, I was feeling the same thing. It was a little nonsensical what he was trying to do. But luckily he came to his senses and he was like, let's draft up a story, and it worked. Maybe the detectives just suck, you know, but
just
they
don't
took the
care.
story.
It's another
Yeah.
hooker situation in a hotel room.
Yeah.
Sounds awful,
Dirty
but
guy.
I'm sure it happens.
Yeah, if he was strangling people, probably not a real high class citizen.
But
Right,
he told
exactly.
her not to tell them she's an escort,
Yeah.
right?
All right.
Is it just like, oh, we met and we were just like
Boning.
boning,
Yeah, I
hooking
mean,
up?
it looks like they went with the heart attack story. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't think we're going to see anything else, but
No.
find out, you know, next episode, or even if Mandy comes back, because there was that moment where Lip did see her coming out of the house. We didn't know whether they were going to actually run into each other. And he clearly shocked, you know, couldn't get words out of his mouth, and she didn't stay. She was like, I got to get out of here. I didn't know if I expected her to like not say anything and kind of just run out.
Yeah.
But I like how they wrote that, because now we get to see if something else is, if Lip's going to go looking for her now. And I also do think with what he was saying, like, oh, that's her car, like he was surprised she had a nice car, that maybe it's going to be like a little bit of an eye-opener for him, like, crap, I need to get out of the city, that's why I went to college in the first place.
I did love the moment with her and Ian in the bedroom where, you know, you could tell she was like, you know, trying to cover for what she was doing, make excuses, you know, and I loved his line with her that there's no judgment, and then just when she's the line before when they hugged, like, because we grew up here, we don't have to stay here. I just really liked that moment.
Yeah.
I like to see what that kind of meant for him too with this new relationship. And I mean, here he is talking to Mickey's sister, you know, and I liked it.
And we did finally hear him say something about Mickey. He does miss him, but he's happy and enjoying what's going on right now.
And a good point he made, I thought about that relationship too, where, you know, he said, we'll see, we shall see. I like his attitude about it, because it is like, you tell people your flaws or what you have going on and everybody acts like they're okay with it, but who knows what, you know. So I like that he was just like, I'm gonna roll with it while it's lasts and enjoy it, and
he's finally come to terms with what he was dealing with before. Like, he didn't accept it earlier on, like when Mickey was trying to help him and stuff. When Mickey was still around, Ian was kind of
You mean his bipolar disorder?
Yeah, like he was in denial. For, you know, he wasn't taking his meds. He didn't think anything was wrong. He was kidnapping Evgeny, and like now he's honest about it with himself and with everybody else, and it's liberating for him. You can totally tell he's moving on to better things. Hopefully it stays that way.
Yeah, I'm liking Ian the last couple of episodes.
Yeah.
Back to normal.
Yeah.
Or back to, you know, where we saw him at the beginning of last season.
Yeah. Also, talk about looking amazing while running into your ex. Mandy looked so good.
On the way out.
Yeah.
On the way out.
So true. I liked her
Clean,
bangs.
showered. Her outfit was cute.
Good hair
Her
Cute
car
coat.
was good.
Yeah.
She didn't have to say a word. She just made a statement right then and there.
It's very true.
Yeah.
Good point, Joyce.
And
Yeah.
I like that Ian too didn't say what her job was, you know. But
Yeah.
I liked
Just said that
him.
he stopped by. She stopped by. Yeah.
judgment.
She's got a new job. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good for her. I'm happy she's back. Other than that she's doing drugs still, it's like,
Well, yeah, I mean, that was a big part of that she did, what she called it crank, right? She did a little crank, and she doesn't even know why because she hates it, but who knows? The guy that she was with may have made her do it. That could have been part of why he died. I mean, we don't know, I guess.
yeah. That's true.
But yeah, I'd like to know if you guys think she's coming back, or if that's kind of it for her. It would be hard to believe she's just in for one little episode.
Yeah.
I want her to come back. Maybe she'll come back in the finale with a big bang.
We only got a couple left. Thank you, Joyce.
You're welcome. I'll be here all night.
Perfect.
Or for the next 30 minutes.
Okay, perfect. That's funny. Okay, so yeah, I mean, we'll see.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that's a good transition though for a big
Oh,
bang.
yeah.
Let's talk about Carl. Carl becomes a man, ladies and gents. Carl is a man.
Yeah.
Also, he's still 15 or 14. Is he older? Oh my gosh.
It's not old enough. I hope my kids don't have sex until they're
No.
like no,
Until they're 30.
until they're married. Who is that? That's what William Macy said that one time on his podcast. I don't want my daughters to have sex until they're married. Yeah, so he and Dominique, a little forward.
Yeah.
Were you surprised?
Yeah, I was. Like, I didn't, yeah.
I mean, that forward, yes. I knew she liked him. I knew she, like, you know, even through all his swagger and his, like, you know, cover of being a thug and everything, like, I think she liked him, but she knew that there was more to him. But now, like, now that they've done it, and she said, you know, why she wanted to have sex, like, all her friends have already done it, and now she wants to get it over with. Like, that's how I felt. Like, it was just sort of like, oh, Carl is the one that'll, like, make me lose my virginity, you know? Let it
That's
happen.
a tough situation for me because that happens, I feel like, a lot.
I mean, it happened with Debs almost.
Right, and even like girls in their period, like I already got mine and you didn't get yours, and then it's like all of this stuff. Don't need to have sex just because your friends are having sex.
Yeah.
So I didn't like that, but you know, Carl obviously did. He was grabbing some more condoms from Ian and Lip. Actually, the one part that bothered me the most was when they were laying there after, and they made it look like it was so good.
Yeah.
Okay, you're 15.
Yeah.
You're both virgins, and I guarantee that hurt the shit out of you,
yeah.
Dominique. So let's not lie here.
Yeah, you're both not like heads hitting the pillow at the same time. Like
No.
that was the best thing ever.
Like, and
No.
you just finished at the same time too. Please, it took him 2 seconds. He didn't even know what to do with his
her
penis.
cherries popped. She's bleeding. Like, come on, let's keep going about this
It's
one.
a mess. Whether you're not...
So unrealistic.
It's awkward. It's not.
Yeah. I mean, they never... that's the thing. They never show, like, the consequence or, like, what actually happens afterwards. Like, you gotta clean up.
Of all shows, you would think this one might have addressed that.
Or if it would have been a little awkward or
actually-
something.
Yeah, I guess for first-timers. But remember last week when Carl sat down on the bed after Queenie and Frank had sex and it was, like, gross and wet?
Yeah, he was like, oh, sorry about that.
See,
And it
I guess
stunk in the
that's-
room. And
It stunk in the room, exactly. It's, you know, that's how it is.
Yeah.
It's not...
That's how it is at your house?
Yeah, that's how it is in my house.
You go home, your parents are like, come on in, Joyce.
Oh, God. No. That is not how it is. Anyway, all I'm trying to say is...
oh lordy.
It's
I
not
hope your parents watch.
as great as Carl and Dominique made it look.
Correct. We'll leave it at that.
Leave it at that.
Agreed. Well, I don't know whether they're going to continue or not.
I think they're gonna stay together. I'm hoping. I think they're gonna stay together for a little bit.
Well,
but-
we see him next week with her dad, so he kind of gets it in, like, you know.
Well, we know the
relationship
first time they met
continues.
wasn't a good first impression.
Yeah.
So.
But he's changed. Hopefully for the better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean,
He's
I
not in
think
the game
consistently
now.
each week he's, realizing what he was doing was not smart. So
Yeah.
he can only go up from here, I hope.
Hopefully.
I don't know. I think one of my... Well, actually, no. The ending was my favorite by far of this show. So I want to leave that for last because that was a great moment. I'm still happy about it. But Debbie at the commune. So we finally see this commune that that Queenie has been talking about, and it's almost exactly like what I pictured.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also a little more disgusting.
It is pretty gross.
Would you live there?
Nope.
At the commune?
No.
If you got Debbie's
Nope.
No.
yurt.
No.
Oh, God, no.
Even
No.
if you were in her situation.
I'm sorry, how many people have used that massage vibrator thing? No!
The thing was intense.
What?
No.
No, thank you.
I can't. It's too communal.
one of those
for
back
me.
massagers.
Yeah.
It's like too much like sharing. I don't want that. Now she has her own room and everything, but like it's like everyone knows your business. You're in everyone's business, and like it's smelly. I don't know. It's just me.
Well,
Creature comforts are gone. I'm out. I'm like, no.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm all for outdoorsy and camping and that kind of stuff, but I don't need to share my tent with multiple
Yeah.
old men and
No.
yeah.
But I get it though, because Debbie does want a place where she can feel more comfortable with being pregnant and having her kids. So I understand why she'd want to go there. And Queenie has been nothing but like super open and supportive and helpful,
Right.
even though maybe Deb doesn't understand like what folic acid actually does, or she still gets that comfortable feeling from that community. So I understand.
What do you think? Because I think she's gonna have her baby there, and I get that. Like it's a great environment for her. What do you think? Because I don't think she's gonna stay and raise her kid there. Like, what do you think it's gonna take for her to see there where she's like, I'm getting the hell out of here?
when they try to like put her baby into some weird sex ring,
Or they like
I don't know, some there's got to be they try to like
super over the like
yeah.
or I mean
Yeah, they were sacrificing the baby for some. That's why they needed a maternal figure, and
my
that's why she's in the
gosh.
tent, and like
that's insane.
I don't know.
But also nowadays
There's been
people
weirder things
It's got to be
happen on
something
Shameless.
crazy. Yeah, I see her just taking her
Because,
baby and
well,
running.
especially because
like,
Queenie's like, this is the one I wrote you about, and he's like, oh yes, we've been hoping you'd come and wanting you to come, Deborah, and
Yeah. Well, people
she's clearly like the she's
Virgin
like
Mary only.
exactly.
nowadays though people like buy placenta, right? And they cook with it. They consume it in different ways. So I wonder if they're going to do that there, because it kind of seems like the place where
She's not just there for her placenta.
I'm-
They may eat it. That
just
wouldn't surprise me.
For someone like Debs, who's probably never heard of that before, like maybe seeing that happen would be like super weird. Although we do see her having the baby at the Gallagher house in the previews.
Oh really?
I think it was
it
the
at the
Gallagher house. I don't know. I could be wrong.
Oh, we need to
know if I
rewatch
saw-
that.
That was the impression I got, but I could be wrong.
So yeah, maybe something happens before. Maybe she finds out that they.
Yeah, and then they
Yeah.
go.
I don't know. But we found out what the front was. The commune is a front
Yeah.
for a opium
I love it.
growing opium business they've got going on.
Frank always like finds himself ass first in like the best situations for himself. Like
He's in heaven.
He's in heaven. There's always like something amazing hidden behind the things that he hates, or doesn't stand by.
Yeah, they've got a whole plan too. They're going to buy some land in Kauai.
Yeah,
Well, that sounds good to me.
good for them.
Doubt it happens.
Upgrade.
But we'll
Yeah,
see.
It's not. Yeah.
Well, because Frank's gonna like take one of those plants back if he wants to go back and try to like
my God.
buy himself over from those guys trying to kill him, or like something.
Yeah. Oh, that's true.
He's gonna invite people to like come play with my opium.
Oh, shit.
I don't know.
That could totally happen. Get himself out.
They
of
gotta
the
ruin
dark.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if the whole opium den like burned down somehow.
Or gets raided by all those guys. And
Yeah.
It'll be interesting.
Yeah. I don't know.
And he's going to be pedaling really hard on that bike from now on. No questions asked.
Right. Yeah, that's so true. He's like, I'll do it. I'll
Yeah.
run the generator.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, Frank. Gotta love him.
Yeah.
That's all you can say about him sometimes. You gotta love him. See what happens next week. Yeah, well, okay, finally on to my favorite part of the night. A lot happening with Sean and Fiona. Obviously, in the beginning of the episode, a lot of emotions. He's very angry still. She's, having a difficult time not talking to him because she knows that he's mad. And it's just one of those, feelings that you have when you're with someone, and it's awful to know that you're not in in a normal place. What do you think about Sean's reactions to his son having a gun and how he kind of played that out at the beginning of the episode?
I actually love everything about the storyline, the way they wrote it, because I found myself going through the emotions as a viewer. Like, I was mad that he was being so tough to her, but then when you think about it and you rationalize it, it's like, if that's your kid and they're you see them playing with a gun, you're not gonna, as a parent, no way, like, because you thought, okay, they could have, not only, because you lose custody, which is giant, but they could have died, or they could have been a baby.
Right.
So then it's like I justified the way he's acting, although it made me mad because I wanted him to just forgive her. But then I thought the conversation when he threw out, like, I wanted to let it go, but then you also let Liam with cocaine, it's like, yeah. Then I was like, then I was on his side, because I was like, oh, he's right. But then when she fired back, I was like, damn, you're a killer, and you're like, this is awesome. Like, I just loved it. I thought it was everything about it. Like, kudos to the writers. I thought it was amazing. Loved it. Loved to see them together at the end. It was awesome.
Ditto.
Yeah, good payoff.
And I also like that they acknowledged what we've been talking about for so long, is that Fiona goes from guy to guy, and they finally said it out loud, and she realizes that, and she knows that about herself. And part of me was really excited to hear her say those words and hear her say, you focus on Will, I focus on me. I was like, yes, this is finally what I've been wanting to see Fiona do for a long time. But when he came into the law office, or into the building and everything, I was like, oh no, they have to be together. Like, they're so great together, and like they could help each other. So I was feeling two different things at two different times during watching the show.
I also just love, like, as far as they're acting, just like her eyes in that scene where she's leaving him, and then his response is shit after she left. I mean, it was just all so real and so amazing.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I loved those two were definitely my favorite part of the episode today. Yeah. I love how it ended with him on one knee in front of the divorce lawyers, in front of Gus, with Gus's ring, of all things to propose with.
Yeah.
I thought it was so funny, and just I like surprise proposal moments in general. So that one being like, she's like, you're not serious. You're not being serious. He's like, I'm 100% serious. It was just really great. Awesome. And I love them together. I always have. So I'm happy for that relationship, and actually hope it does last.
Me too. Yeah. It makes me wonder two things, though. It makes me wonder if this is going to hurt Sean's relationship with his son, if Nicole decides to press charges, or not press charges, but like deny him custody. Like, is that going to hurt him? And is this also going to hurt Fiona's chance and her new lawyer's chance of getting anything out of the whole divorce? Because she didn't want to screw Gus over at first, but now the idea seems kind of nice, and just entertaining the fact that she might get some money out of this.
I read it as if she's done. Like, toss the ring. I don't think she's going to go after,
like, she's not going to go through with this.
I don't know. I could totally be wrong, but I thought that I don't think that she was going to.
I was really looking forward to see how that turned out with that lawyer, because he's hilarious. Blood in the water, and I'm sure.
Hilarious. I love him. All I can see, though, is Oscar from The Office.
Yeah, I know, right?
It's so funny. I liked his character here, though. But she has to pay Sean back, and she doesn't have that money. And, like, he obviously knows how much she makes, and she probably can't really save much. And I don't know, maybe she'll go through with the lawsuit or with the divorce and, like, take him for what she can get, take whatever she can get from Gus, so that maybe she can pay.
Well, we didn't know any of that about it. We didn't know any of that about Gus today before, that his parents had a trust fund, or like he has a trust fund, and they've got property in New Mexico. And it's like listing all of these things that she could have taken advantage of.
Yeah, it's true.
Like, damn.
Yeah, they made it like he was a struggling musician,
like he was just fine.
Like living in a little studio apartment.
Yeah.
Getting engaged super quickly to Fiona. Like, he did have that starving artist feel to him.
And he needed, I know it was a sentimental value, but like they were going to put a big price tag on that ring again for over $15,000. It was like,
It also says a lot about Fiona, though. Like, she didn't know that he had all this behind him and, like, all this money and property.
Yeah, I mean,
and
she
she
clearly
still
doesn't
married
care.
him. You know, she doesn't care. So, and she still doesn't care.
Right.
It's not a matter of, like, money to her. It's a matter of, like, fine, I'm going to screw you over now. Like, this is how you want to play the game. This is what I'm going to do.
Well, yeah, because she even went in there and they were like, it's fine. Like, we're just going to, you know, just split with what we had, leave with what we had. And then his lawyer said something where he was, you know, about the ring, and they were going to do this, and that, and she was like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Which I loved. But I am hoping to see that she gets something.
Yeah, I think maybe she'll at least get that money for the ring. But I don't feel like she'll take him to the cleaners.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
That would be very Fiona of her.
Yeah.
Could change your life, though.
It could.
I know.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, oh, there's so many things
They
they
could
could
set
do.
their life up pretty...
Right, pretty
well.
nice. Yeah. All right, well, should we predict other things?
All right. I only have one prediction.
Ooh.
I
didn't
never
even
have a
think about it
prediction,
yet.
ever.
Me neither. Predictions?
Do your own lights.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV
Predictions.
Okay, this may not happen, and he's really young, so he's got a lot of life ahead of him, but I could see Carl ended up wanting to be a music producer, realizing he's not making much as a dishwasher, so maybe he's going to start to get into the music world.
Oh, how about that minimum wage issue that after everything that's taken out of his taxes, the poor kid can afford to go home?
Yeah, that's pretty much
I mean,
it.
and like Sean said, you know, you're not in jail and you're not dead, so this is your better option.
Yeah.
But like, how do you afford any kind of a living on minimum wage anymore? You can't.
You can't. I mean, for a normal 15, 16-year-old, like, that would be nice to have a paycheck at all and to have your own spending money at all. But for someone like Carl, who's like, is used to making thousands of dollars a day, like, you know, of course he's going to freak out about that tiny paycheck.
Yeah.
But good for Sean for sticking to his word on giving him a job.
Yeah, and I'm glad Carl
good
went
he
there with
stayed-
no, you know, questions asked. He was just like, okay, I gotta do this. I gotta be respectful and repay him for what he did for me.
Yeah. I see him getting along with Dominique's dad. Like, he's going to prove himself somehow. And, you know, things are going to work out with Dominique for a while. Maybe until she goes to music camp, and then who knows what'll happen.
Do you think he goes to music camp with her?
Oh.
I don't
That
think
could
so.
go along with your prediction.
Could.
I don't. I see him more. Well, it depends on what this music camp's like. But if she's doing violinist, I see him more like being in the studio, kind of.
Yeah.
Trying to do his
Maybe,
own thing.
yeah.
That could he could be. Yeah.
It's very true. I mean, we kind of already talked about. The only prediction I would have had is that Debbie is going to realize there's something really weird going on with the commune, and you know, there's another reason why they really wanted her and her baby there.
That is so strange.
Some kind of creepy something. I don't know.
Experiments.
I don't know.
I have no
know.
idea. I feel also like Fiona is going to, now that she has a second shot at getting married, like maybe she's going to make it not in a courthouse. It'll be more of like a ceremony
actual
type
wedding.
thing, and an actual wedding. It'll be small.
That would
of
be
course.
nice.
But I think her and Sean are going to, like, you know, do it bigger than what she had last time.
So you do think
like
they'll
that too.
actually end up getting married?
Yeah.
I think they will too.
I think so.
Okay.
It's about time Fiona had something like consistent, and she had consistent happiness.
And you think this
With
is
a
it for
cool
her?
dude.
I mean, gosh, since the beginning of Shameless, it has never been one real,
Yeah.
consistent, totally committed relationship. And you think this is
Why not?
it?
Yeah.
I do,
Yeah.
but for some, I don't know if we'll see. I think she'll get married next season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be tough
And
to
a
do.
good-
And maybe
too
in the
quick.
last three, yeah.
Yeah, I think this engagement might go on for a while, and yeah, maybe we'll get that
Yeah.
later on in the next season.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, guys, keep commenting along with us on YouTube. A lot of great comments again this week.
Thanks for
you.
letting us know whose
Penises,
we
I was
saw.
just going to say. A lot of you guys recognize the penises.
Yes.
Good for you. Love it. So keep commenting along with us. Let us know your predictions for next episode and what you'd like to see for the rest of the season. And you can find us on AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. Obviously, subscribe to all of AfterBuzz. That way you can watch the other amazing after shows that AfterBuzz has to offer.
Yeah.
JJ, let's start with you. Where can they find
JJ
you?
Jurgens on Twitter, JJ.Jurgens on Instagram. That's all I'm going with tonight.
Cool. You guys can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at JJ Ajouri, and on the Tuesday night podcast for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I always trip on those words.
That's okay. It's a good one. Watch.
Yeah.
And you guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Hayley Clover. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Fucking stay. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.